A man has 28 coins in his pocket, all of which are dimes and quarters. If the total value of his change is 565 cents, how many dimes and how many quarters does he have? So for this one, we need to set up two equations, right? So we got to set up our system of equations. So the first hint here is the 28 coins in his pocket. And I guess we should also define our variables, right? So we've got dimes and we've got quarters. So I'm going to say like D is my number of dimes and Q is going to be my number of quarters. All right, so this first part, right, 28 coins in his pocket, we can make an equation of that pretty easily, right? Because that must mean that however many dimes he has plus come on, pen, plus however many quarters he has must be equal to 28. All right, so that's our first equation. And now the second equation is just going to be based on the second part where it says if the total value of his change is 565 cents. So we probably know how much a dime is worth and a quarter is worth, right? A dime is 10 cents and a quarter is 25 cents. So what that must mean then is if I go 10 cents for every dime, right? So 10 times the number of dimes I have plus 25 times the number of quarters that I have, well, all of that must come out to 565. All right, so there's our two equations. Now, we will be learning how to solve these algebraically, but at this point, we're going to be solving it graphically. So what we want to do is just rearrange these so that they look like they're in the form y is equal to mx plus b. So we've got d's and q's, so you can pick either one. Let's solve. I'm going to solve for d. So d is equal to, and I'm just going to bring the q over to that side. So negative q plus 28. So do you see how that's looks like it's in the same form, right? So I have a slope of -1 and a y-intercept at 28. All right, so that's our first equation. And our second equation, I'll rearrange for d again. So let's do that. I'll just do it underneath. So I'll bring this 25q over to that side, right? I'll subtract it from both sides. So we get 10d is equal to -25q plus 565. Okay, so then the very last thing we'll do is just divide by 10. So if you divide by 10, whatever you do to one side, you have to do the other. We're really dividing everything by 10, but that's the same as just dividing both terms by 10. All right, so we get d is equal to, so then it's going to be, so we'll divide 25 by 5 and 10 by 5 just to simplify that fraction. So we get -5 over 2q. And then we can leave this as a fraction too, but we're going to graph it anyway. So let's just call this, so dividing by 10, we get 56.5. Good enough. Not great to mix fractions and decimals, but good enough. We're going to graph it. All right, so from there, let's graph both of these and see what we got. Okay, so I'm going to type in, I'll do this one first. So we've got -5 over 2. And then you don't type Q, you type X in the calculator. Plus 56.5. All right. And then my second equation was this one, so -x. So -x and then plus 28. All right, let's see where these things cross. So I'm going to hit graph. And I can't see it. So what's going on here? Well, I'm just zoomed in too far, right? And a couple of little hints we can use to figure out where to go. Can you see this like plus 56 on this one? Well, that means it crosses the y-axis at 56.5. So I need to see up higher, right? I'm only seeing up to 10 right now, so I got to see up at least to 56. So if I did that, so let's just do that one first. So I'll hit window, and then I'm going to make my y max. I'm going to make that, it has to be bigger than 56.5, so make it like 100. All right, so now you get a bit of a picture, right? And you can see, okay, these guys are going to cross over here somewhere. So I need to see further to the right. So I'm going to hit window again. And I'm going to change my X max this time. And it looked like if I went twice as far, I should be pretty good. So let's try 20. Well, maybe a little more. Okay, let's try 30. There you go. Good enough. We can see where they cross, right? That's the important part. All right, so from there, we want to hit the calculate button. So I'm going to go second, calculate, and we're going to find where they intersect. So you can either go down to 5 or just click 5. And now first curve, so anywhere on that blue line. And then second curve, it's asking for the other line. I say yes. And now it's going to take a guess at where those two lines cross. So enter. So I get an intersection at 19 and 9. So now just careful on which one's which though, right? So this is my x-axis, right? So that's like it's saying the x value would be 19. Just go back to our original equations and like look at what were we calling our x value, right? Like this was our x value. That was our q. So the number of quarters is 19. Okay, so number of quarters would be 19. And the number of dimes, right? My y value would be 9. And then just, you can check it out too, right? We can actually see if this is true. So if I actually throw in 9 for my dimes and 19 for my quarters, does that actually equal 28? Yes, it does. And we can do the same for the other equation as well, right? If we throw 9 in for dimes, 19 in for quarters, it should give us 565.